What's the difference between these two products? Most of us are used to buying flour in a bag from the grocery store like this. It's convenient, it's shelf stable, and it works great for everyday baking. Commercially available flour is processed in a way that makes it last longer on the shelf. With white flour, the bran and germ are removed, leaving mostly the endosperm. That gives the flour a finer texture and a longer shelf life. But it also means some of the natural parts of the wheat berry are taken out, and with it, many of the health benefits.
Aww.
A wheat berry is the whole wheat kernel. It has three main edible parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. The bran is the outer layer of the wheat berry. It's where a lot of the fiber is found, along with minerals and plant compounds. These are important parts of the plant, especially for those of us who might struggle with some regularity. The germ is the tiniest part of the wheat berry. It's what can sprout into a new plant. It contains nutrients like vitamins and minerals, healthy fats, and antioxidants. Because the germ has natural oils in it, it can go rancid over time, which is one reason it's often removed from commercial white flour to help extend shelf life. Then there's the endosperm. That is the largest part of the wheat berry, and it's mostly starch with some protein. This is the part that gives flour a lot of its baking structure, especially when making things like bread, biscuits, pancakes, or muffins. When you grind wheat berries at home, you're using the whole grain, the bran, the germ, and endosperm, all freshly milled together. That means your flour has more of the original wheat berry still intact, which gives it a fresher, nuttier flavor that's really different from flour that has been sitting on a store shelf. Fresh milled flour has this warm, almost nutty aroma, and it makes baking feel a little more connected to the ingredients. You're not just opening a bag of flour, you're taking the whole wheat berry and turning it into flour right before you bake. But there are a few things to know. Fresh milled flour can behave differently than store-bought flour. Because it includes the bran and germ, it can make baked goods a little more dense, more rustic. Especially if you're used to baking with all-purpose flour. Some recipes may need a little extra liquid, and the bread dough may need more time to rest so the flour can fully hydrate. Commercial flour definitely has its place. It's easy, predictable, affordable, and great when you need consistent results. All-purpose flour is especially useful for lighter baked goods, pastries, and recipes where you want a softer texture. Fresh milled flour, on the other hand, is wonderful if you're looking for more whole grain flavor, more control over your ingredients, and a way to use the entire wheat berry. It's also really satisfying to grind only what you need when you need it. Another thing to think about is storage. Wheat berries like this can last a long time when stored properly in a cool, dry place. But once you grind them into flour, the natural oils from the germ are exposed, so fresh flour is best used soon after milling. You can store extra fresh milled flour in the fridge or freezer to help keep it fresh longer, but only for a matter of days to weeks, not months. So is fresh milled flour better than store-bought flour? Well, I don't think it has to be all or nothing. Store-bought flour is convenient, it's reliable, and fresh milled flour brings flavor and freshness and the benefits of using the whole grain. For me, this is less about being perfect and more about learning another traditional kitchen skill. It's about slowing down, understanding where our food comes from, and making something simple from scratch. Today, I'm going to grind these wheat berries into flour and use it to make some delicious dinner rolls. I'll show you what the flour looks like, how it bakes, and whether I think it's worth doing again. If you've ever milled your own flour, I'd love to know what tips you have. And if you're new to this, come along and learn with me. Okay, so now we have all of our wheat berries milled into fresh milled flour. similar texture, a little grainier than what you'd find in the commercial all-purpose flour, but very similar in texture otherwise. So now we're going to begin baking our dinner rolls. We'll start by, that's not even how we start. We're going to begin making our dinner rolls now. We'll start by adding milk, butter, honey, and eggs. Flour and our yeast. And we'll mix that for 2 to 3 minutes. After mixing for a couple minutes, we'll cover and let it rise for 10 minutes. Okay, we've let our dough rest for 10 minutes, and now we are going to add salt, and we are going to knead it. We've added a different, and now we are going to knead it. We've added a different attachment to our KitchenAid here that will do the kneading for us, and we'll let it go for about 10 minutes or so, but we'll check on it until we get the perfect amount of consistency and pull and stretch that we're looking for in our dough. Now, okay, so now this has been kneading for about 8 to 9 minutes, and it should be about the consistency that we're looking for. And what you want to see is where the dough kind of wants to stay together, and you can kind of test that by stretching it apart, and you should get this kind of window pane appearance where it gets real thin before it breaks apart. It doesn't really want to come apart. You can see how it gets real thin first. That's what you're looking for, and that means it's ready to go. It will be really sticky, so it's a good idea to oil your hands a little bit so you can work with it easier. And then what we're going to do is just divide it into 12 equal portions for our dinner rolls and put it here in this pan and bake it. Okay, we've had the rolls resting here for about half an hour to rise, and we are going to go ahead and put them in a 375-degree oven for about 15 minutes or until they have an internal temperature of 190 degrees. They look beautiful and ready to be baked. Well, here they are. They've baked for about 17 minutes and are ready to enjoy. It looks like someone couldn't wait and has already dug into these warm dinner rolls. But let's give them a taste and see how they turned out for ourselves. It's been my experience that the best way to enjoy these is with a little butter and honey right here from our very own homestead. So let's fix it up and give it a taste. Wow, delicious, still warm from the oven. Let me know if you try grinding your own flour at home and what you bake.